Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanantimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathamritam Tam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sarvam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Shri Shakantam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopeja Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Rameshwari Vrishabhanu Sri Devi Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurava. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, thank you for joining, and please forgive me that you're hear from me today, unfortunately. So actually, it's supposed to be by Eagle Kishore Prabhuji. Eagle Kishore Prabhuji is not going to speak today. Is not able to speak. He strict me probably so to speak this Srimad Bhagavatam, especially starting from Krishna book today. I would like to humbly take your permission and blessings so that I can speak something which I can apply to my life as per our acharyas and senior Vaishnavas instructions. Anyway, everyone is Krishna book. Yeah, Krishna book introduction. I would like to quote one nice story before we go into introduction. Yes, sir. In the Niti Shastras, one of the story. Kaka Krishna, Pika Krishna. Kaka Krishna, Pika Krishna. So Kaka means the crow. Crow is also black. And Pika means cuckoo. Cuckoo is also black in color. We don't know. Vasanta Rutu Agachet. Kaka Kaka, Pika Pika. So only when the Vasanta Rutu comes, then the difference you'll know. Like that, only person who speaks, then only you'll come to know. I'm not fit to see, all of you here and me sitting here. I would like to be sitting there, hearing. Just want to say that. So introduction, actually, Sam Kishore Prabhu ordered me to discuss from today Krishna book, as we are getting towards Sri Krishna Janmashtami in a couple of weeks. Most auspicious festival and most awaited festival for all of us. So we'd like to start with that. Introduction on the Srimad Krishna book. Krishna 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 He
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 Krishna 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 Raksha Mam.
Krishna 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 Raksha Mam.
Krishna 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 Pahi Mam.
Krishna 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 Pari Mam.
Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Raksha Mam.
Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Raksha Mam.
Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahi Mam.
Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pari Mam.
Krishna 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 He.
Krishna 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 Hare.
Krishna 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 He.
Krishna 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 Hare.
This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 7.96. So Prabhupada is writing about the introduction of the Krishna book, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'd like to continue for a couple of paragraphs and then we can discuss rather than me speaking alone. So while attempting to write this book, Krishna, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, Om Vishnu Pada Stuti Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Then let me offer my respectful obeisances to the ocean of mercy, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, appearing in the role of a devotee, just to distribute the highest principles of devotional service. Lord Chaitanya began his preaching from the country known as Gauda Desha, West Bengal. And as I belong to the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, I must therefore offer my respectful obeisances to the disciplic succession of that name. This Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is also known as the Brahma Sampradaya because the disciplic succession originally began from Brahma. Brahma instructed the sage Narada, Narada instructed Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva instructed Madhvamani or Madhvacharya. Sri Madhavendra Puri, the originator of the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, was a sannyasi who belonged to the Madhvacharya disciplic succession. He had many renowned disciples such as Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, and Ishwara Puri. Ishwara Puri happened to be the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let us offer our respectful obeisances to Ishwara Puri, Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, Srivas Pandit, and Sri Gadadhar Pandit. Next, let us offer our respectful obeisances to Swarup Damodara, who acted as the private secretary to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And let us offer our respectful obeisances to Sri Vasudeva Datta and the constant attendant of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Govinda and the constant friend of Lord Chaitanya, Mukunda, and also to Murari Gupta. And let us offer our respectful obeisances to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. But to continue, as Prabhupada is writing and taking the blessings of his spiritual master and all the Vaishnavas in the Parampara, and he's also explaining about the lineage of where he is from. He is not just an ordinary person coming out of nowhere. So he is declaring himself a bona fide sampradaya and his position from a bona fide sampradaya. So that is what he is declaring in this paragraph. The importance of the bona fide sampradaya and also the importance of the parampara. Without the parampara, we cannot. Without parampara, we cannot achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. So the ultimate people aspire for liberation and all that. But for everything, for our sampradayas is very, very important because it's the highest of all the sampradayas because that is giving Krishna Prema. Everyone is aspiring for. So then we'll continue actually reading. Krishna himself has explained in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that whenever there are discrepancies in the regulative principles of man's religious life and a prominence of irreligious activities, he appears on this earthly planet. In other words, when Lord Sri Krishna appeared, there was a necessity of minimizing the load of sinful activities accumulated on this planet or in the universe. For affairs of the material creation, Lord Mahavishnu, the plenary portion of Krishna, is in charge. Thus, when the Lord descends, the incarnation emanates from Vishnu. Mahavishnu is the original cause of the material creation. And from him, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu expands, and then Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Generally, all the incarnations appearing within this material universe are plenary expansions from Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Therefore, the business of minimizing the overload of sinful activities on this earth does not belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. But when Krishna appears, all the Vishnu expansions join with him. Krishna's different expansions, namely Narayana, the quadruple expansion of Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, as well as partial plenary expansions like Matsya, the incarnations of the fish, and the Yuga Avataras, incarnations for the millennium, and the Manvantara Avataras, incarnations associated with the reigns of Manus, all combine together and appear with the body of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the complete whole, and thus all plenary expansions and incarnations always live with him. Therefore, when Krishna appeared, Lord Vishnu was with him. Krishna actually appears in order to demonstrate his Vrindavan pastimes and in this way attract the fortunate conditioned souls and invite them back home, back to Godhead. The killing of the demons in Vrindavan was carried out only by the Vishnu portion of Krishna. So the two reasons for Krishna's appearance is what Prabhupada is writing here very clearly. One is internal reason and one is external reason. The external reason everyone knows. Krishna appears so that he protects the devotees and kills the demons. Right? So that is what Krishna's promise. But at the same time, here Prabhupada is explaining about Krishna and Vishnu's relation. What the plenary portion of Lord Krishna is Vishnu. And from him, the entire maintenance of this material world is carried out by Mahavishnu. And from his breath, innumerable planets and universes are coming, emanating from his body. And within each universe, Mahavishnu expands himself as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And he is the super soul of the universe. And then from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, how the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu comes. And from Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, all the incarnations within the universe are appearing. So now Prabhupada is giving clearly, for Krishna to kill the demons, he doesn't need to be there. The entire material creation is carried out by Mahavishnu. Why can't he carry out the same activity of killing the demons through Mahavishnu? He can do that simply. So that's why that is only external reason. And that also he is coming through the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Even though Krishna personally coming, but he is coming through Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. That is also Prabhupada is explaining. Within the universe, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is the one who gives the incarnation. Every incarnation comes through Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Oftentimes, Bishop gives this example of a CEO of Citibank. When CEO of Citibank sitting, global in charge will be there, and CEO of each country will be there. Whenever the CEO of Citibank, the entire CEO wants to talk and come there. He calls the CEO of any other nation. Okay, this is what my schedule, and then he goes to the CEO of that particular nation and goes along with him. Not like directly going anywhere. But that's how Krishna also coming along with Kirodaksha Vishnu into the universe, in this universe or in universe. That is what the relation, how Krishna comes. And as it is apparent that he doesn't need to be coming to kill the demons, then why is he coming? He is simply coming to enjoy the pastimes with his devotees. What happens when he comes and he performs the activities, right? So all the conditioned souls are attracted towards him. So we're all here, whenever we listen to the pastimes of Krishna, our ears, our mind, totally attracted towards Krishna. And that is the only way the conditioned souls can get liberation. There is no other way. By enjoying the pastimes, how Krishna is doing his activities. So by listening to those, we will get attraction towards him. And before the installation of Radha Gopijan Vallabha, in a devotee study. Why is he coming here? We need a lot of mercy. We need a lot of mercy. He simply comes to enjoy. Are you all there to support his enjoyment? That is the only purpose. When he comes to this world, he wants to enjoy, that's all. He doesn't, of course, he takes care of devotees. I was hearing one wonderful pastime of how Narsingadev incarnation comes and why devotees go to Narsingadev in Mayapur. I was hearing from Janivas Prabhu. And then Krishna is fully in enjoyment, right? So you will always, Krishna, I have this problem, I have that problem. My health is this way, that way. All that he doesn't need to take care of all that. So that's why Krishna mercifully incarnates as Narsingadev. You go there, all of your problems will be taken care by Narsingadev. He will remove all of that. You come here, you simply enjoy. That's how, Krishna's wonderful pastimes. But unfortunately, in this world, people try to deride him about his pastimes and all that. So many things, so many rasas are involved in Krishna's pastimes. If you analyze the modern society, how it puts all these rasas into different serials, different movies, different sports. Look at all of that. You find all of the rasas in, what Krishna is doing in his pastimes. You'll find everything. But the only difference is those activities will put us in the bondage in this material world. But Krishna's activities will purify us and will purify our hearts so that we can be attracted towards him. That is why Krishna comes. Just render service to him, attracted towards him, and then go back to him. There is no other purpose. We'll go through different paragraphs here. Prabhupada actually, the whole essence, Prabhupada writes of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is considered as the 10th canto, summary of 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Many times in book distribution, we explain this, all the nice pastimes of Krishna, 108 pastimes of Krishna are there in this book. Please take and you read and you explain your kids so that they'll also get this wonderful information of what Prabhupada is writing. So many pastimes. We'll see one by one. The Lord's abode is described in the Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, 20th verse, where it is stated that there is another eternal nature in the spiritual sky, which is transcendental to this manifested and non-manifested matter, The manifested world can be seen in the form of many stars and planetary systems, such as the sun and moon. But beyond this, there is non-manifested portion which is not approachable by anyone in this body. And beyond that non-manifested matter is the spiritual kingdom. That kingdom is described in the Bhagavad Gita as supreme and eternal, never to be annihilated. This material nature is subjected to repeated creation and annihilation, but that part, the spiritual nature, remains as it is eternally. The supreme abode of this personality of Godhead, Krishna, is also described in the Brahma Samhita as the abode of Chintamani. That abode of Lord Krishna, known as Goloka Vrindavan, is full of palaces made of touchstone. There the trees are called desire trees, and the cows are called Surabhi. The Lord is served there by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. His name is Govinda, the primeval Lord, and he is the cause of all causes. There the Lord plays his flute. His eyes are like lotus petals, and the color of his body is like that of a beautiful cloud. On his head is a peacock feather. He is so attractive that he excels thousands of cupids. Lord Krishna gives only a little hint in the Gita of his personal abode, which is the supermost planet in the spiritual kingdom. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna actually appears with all his paraphernalia and demonstrates his activities in Vrindavan, then at Mathura, and then at Dwarka. The subject matter of this book will gradually reveal all these activities. So the abode of the spiritual world, how the spiritual world is different from the material world, is what Prabhupada is giving here. It is completely transcendental, and everyone is trying to go for space trips these days. Prabhupada is writing here, you cannot go with this body to the spiritual world. So many galaxies are there. People still try to look at from the aerial view how it looks like. For that purpose, people are traveling these days. They are rushing towards. And one of the CEO of the company was saying there may be so many people who will die in this process of going to the space and seeing what. He is confidently saying so many people have to die in this process of going to the planets and different planetary systems. People wants to go to Mars and build a colony there. As though there is nothing existing in Earth. They want to loot all the things that from Moon, they want something, so that they want to land in Moon, get all the things from that. There is no other purpose. Just want to exploit. Only exploitation from all the planets. And how the spiritual world is different. It's a Chintamani Dham. It's a wish-fulfilling trees. So many wish-fulfilling trees. How the cows are called Surabhi cows. They give unlimited milk. The characteristics of the spiritual world are displayed here. He is being served by so many goddesses of fortune. So all of that are given in the Brahma Samhita. How how his spiritual world is, how happy he is, how he looks, and what is the hint that Prabhupada is writing in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is only giving just a hint about the spiritual world, but in the Bhagavatam, it's open. So what happens in the spiritual world? If you read the Kingdom of God, the chapter, you will be amazed. Like all the characteristics are given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. How different souls are engaged in the spiritual world. One beautiful the sloka which talks about how they are like decorating themselves in the spiritual world with so much decoration. Everybody is going. When I read that one, okay, I was thinking, everything is renunciating here. But spiritual world, even the families together, they are all nicely decorating and then going on. And there is absolutely no sense gratification in the spiritual world. whatever they are decorating or they are doing, there is no enjoyment for themselves. The consciousness of the souls who are liberated is always to serve Krishna. For themselves, there is nothing, even though they are externally appearing as they are decorating themselves. So everything that they are doing is only to please Krishna. There is nothing that they have anything to enjoy themselves. If you just contemplating on that, hearing from one sannyasi quoting that, even this devotees also, some devotees also can experience that in this material world, when there is no tinge of enjoyment in their life. No tinge of enjoyment in their life. So whatever their life is only to serve spiritual master and Krishna. So that's how they, every moment after moment, right? They always think about how to please Krishna. Fortunately, we are with the Association of Visitors, Kishore Prabhuji. He was constantly engaging all of us to be in the service of Vishwanath Gopijan Vallabha. So there is no other motive for him, like is keep on pushing, do this. So by this process, we will not have a chance to slip from this devotional path. Always we be on the track. The moment we don't get that push, we'll slip. We'll just deviate from the track. So that's why we need to keep on continuing on this process. Somebody needs to be there. Like these souls only engage in Krishna's service. Engage all of us in Krishna's service. That is a difference of the consciousness. We can experience that in this material world also, when we don't have that enjoyment nature, because we don't agree most of the times that we have envy towards Krishna. Yeah, we are devotees, we are chanting. We don't have envy towards Krishna. But I know many times I think myself, like anything that we want to enjoy outside of Krishna, that thought is there. As long as that thought is there, we are trying to steal away Krishna's resources, Krishna's energy. That's why, yes, we have full of envy towards Krishna also, even though I'm chanting. So many things we are trying to take from him, independent of, we want Krishna also, we want material things also. That's what my tendency. I'm just contemplating myself. As long as we want other things along with Krishna, that means I'm talking to myself, I'm envious to Krishna. We don't enjoy Krishna's energies. The family in which Krishna appeared is called the Yadu dynasty. This Yadu dynasty belongs to the family descending from Soma, the god in the moon planet. There are two different Kshatriya families of the royal order, one descending from the king of the moon planet and the other descending from the king of the sun planet. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he generally appears in a Kshatriya family because he has to establish religious principles or the life of righteousness. The Kshatriya family is the protector of the human race according to the Vedic system. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Lord Ramachandra, he appeared in the family descending from the sun god known as the Raghu Vamsha. And when he appeared as Lord Krishna, he did so in the family known as Yadu Vamsha. There is a long list of kings of the Yadu Vamsha in the 9th canto, 24th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. All of them were great, powerful kings. Krishna's father's name was Vasudeva, the son of Surasena, descending from the Yadu dynasty. Actually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not belong to any dynasty of this material world, but the family in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears becomes famous. By his grace, for example, sandalwood is produced in the states of Malaya. Sandalwood has its own qualifications apart from Malaya. But because accidentally this wood is mainly produced in the states of Malaya, it is known as Malayan sandalwood. Similarly, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, belongs to everyone. But just as the sun rises from the east, although there are other directions from which it could rise, So by his own choice, the Lord appears in a particular family, and that family becomes famous. This is most striking point of how the Supreme Lord's decision to come in particular family, particular place, particular circumstances. Here it is explained about how the dynasty and how Krishna appears in the Yadu dynasty, and also son of Vasudeva. What happens when he comes in particular dynasty? He is glorifying, that whole dynasty is glorified. Not Krishna doesn't appear in Yadu dynasty. Krishna appeared so that Yadu dynasty got the glorification. So example, Prabhupada is very clearly saying, even though sandalwood has its own properties, own things, but because it appearing in Malaya region, it's called Malayan sandalwood. So how he choose to come to certain place, it's all his free will. It's called Swarat, supremely independent. And when he choose, sometimes as a conditioned soul, we will be bewildered. And how he choose and why he choose, why he is getting only particular way. Conditioned mind keeps on questioning Krishna's decision sometimes. Many times it happens. Even in the whole temple manifestation also, I can say so many times we keep on thinking about it. He was delayed, coming in so many ways. Whenever he wants, he'll come. But at the same time, we have all this questioning on our side, especially myself. Whatever he does in our life is also the same way. When he puts us in a situation, he puts through the situation, right? Any circumstances, he will put through the situation. But during that process, it may be painful for all of us to go through that, because our desires are not in the same alignment with Krishna's plan. That is main problem. The Krishna plans is to go this way, and our alignment is not with that. Okay, I have my own separate plans. I heard from Shaligram Prabhu one time, you know how to make Krishna laugh? If you want to make Krishna laugh, you just go and tell him, okay, all of your plans. So that way, very long time back, maybe 13, 12 years ago, when I was initially coming to Krishna consciousness. So it's like we have all of our plans, and we just put forward one after another. But Krishna laughs, and he has his own plans with us, what he wants from us. As long as we listen to his voice, we can be happy and we can be alignment with him. Many times we don't. That's the main problem in our lives. And that's why he's called Swarat. His decisions are completely bewildering to conditioned souls. The liberated souls, they can clearly understand what's happening. That's how they act. So continue here. What's the time now? That's 9:05. 9:08. Just read one more paragraph. The one thing we can think about is Krishna also empowers devotees in this process, actually, because when he wants some things to be executed in this way, Krishna also empowers some devotees. One common thing as practicing devotees is We don't see Krishna's empowerment in sometimes like, why not me? Why not somebody else? But this is one thing. Even though we don't have qualifications, sometimes Krishna makes that qualification and he empowers. The person who is empowered, if he thinks that he is doing by himself, he will fall down. But the other persons who are thinking that why not me, only he is getting, then that person also fall down. So these two things Krishna always does. If Krishna is empowering somebody, some little child to do things, why can't Krishna empower anyone? He can empower anyone. As long as we align our desires with his plans, Krishna empowers anyone. Actually, he will get through the things with him, that person. So that we just need to understand that one point actually. Why Krishna choose a certain way is really amazing. It's only for our purification. As long as we just remember that Krishna does things only for our purification, nothing else. We may have so many things in our heart which we may not see, even though, talking to myself, even though I see, but I still ignore them. Many bad things. But Krishna sees all of that and he knows how to purify each and everything. There is no excuse. As explained above, when Krishna appears, all his plenary expansions appear with him. Krishna appeared along with Baladeva, who is known as his elder brother Balram, is the origin of Sankarshan of the quadruple expansion. Balram is also the plenary expansion of Krishna. In this book, the attempt will be made to show how Krishna appeared in the family of the Yadu dynasty and how he displayed his transcendental characteristics. This is very vividly described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, specifically the 10th canto, and thus the basis of this book will be the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The pastimes of the Lord are generally heard and relished by liberated souls. Those who are conditioned souls are interested in reading stories of the material activities of some common man. Although similar narrations describing the transcendental activities of the Lord are found in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas, the conditioned souls still prefer to study ordinary narrations. They are not so interested in studying the narrations of the pastimes of the Lord Krishna. And yet, the descriptions of the pastimes of Lord Krishna are so attractive that they are relatable for all classes of men. There are three classes of men in this world. One class consists of liberated souls. Another consists of those who are trying to be liberated. And the third consists of materialistic men. Whether one is liberated or is trying to be liberated or is even grossly materialistic, the pastimes of Lord Krishna are worth studying. So there are three types of devotees, people that Prabhupada is talking about. One who are liberated, one who are trying to be liberated, and another is materialistic. The liberated souls are already attracted to hearing about the pastimes of the Lord. And who are trying to be liberated, and then there are materialistic people. The materialistic people generally, not including the trying to be liberated, are also attraction is towards general people. We are so much attracted towards sports stars, cinema actors, and different politicians and business people, how they have achieved success in their lives. We are so much eager to hear about how did they reach to that stage, but we don't try to understand the same wonderful narrations of the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada actually writes why we are not able to attract also. In this next paragraph, we'll just end so that we can conclude that. Liberated souls have no interest in material activities. The impersonalist theory that after liberation one becomes inactive and need not hear anything does not prove that a liberated person is actually inactive. A living soul cannot be inactive. He is active either in the conditioned state or in the liberated state. A deceased person, for example, is also active, but his activities are all painful. The same person, when freed from the diseased condition, is still active. But in the healthy condition, the activities are full of pleasure. Similarly, the impersonalists only seek to get free from the disease, conditioned activities. but they have no information of the activities in the healthy condition. Those who are actually liberated and in full knowledge take to hearing the activities of Krishna. Such engagement is pure spiritual activity. This is one thing that Prabhupada always writes about, the difference between the impersonalists in the liberated category. The impersonalist all thinks that there is nothing beyond this world, right? So Prabhupada is clearly saying that the activities that we are going to do here, we are going to continue. If you are trying to serve the Supreme Lord here, after liberation also we try to serve the Lord, the same thing. There is no difference. The service is there. But people, some people, impersonalists think that they are inactive after liberation. No, they are not inactive. They are also active. And he is active either in conditioned state or in the liberation. Only the difference is Prabhupada is giving very wonderful example of diseased condition. When you are a diseased condition, we are all diseased condition. We try to do activities which are going to give pain in this condition, because we have to go through so many things to serve Krishna here. We have to take care of so many other things, in order to serve Krishna. In the liberated state, there is no disease, so we are always happy in serving Krishna. In the diseased state, we experience pain. In the liberated state, we don't experience pain when serving Krishna. So that is the only difference Prabhupada is writing here. It is essential for persons who are actually liberated to hear about the pastimes of Krishna. That is the supreme relishable subject matter for one in the liberated state. Also, if persons who are trying to be liberated hear such narrations as Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then their path of liberation becomes very clear. The Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of Srimad Bhagavatam. By studying the Gita, one becomes fully conscious of the position of Lord Krishna. And when he is situated at the lotus feet of Krishna, he understands the narrations of Krishna as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord Chaitanya has therefore advised his followers that their business is to propagate Krishna Katha. This is, we will stop here. I don't want to take more time. Bhagavad Gita is to study what Krishna has spoken. The two types of Krishna Katha Prabhupada writes in the next few paragraphs. Like one Krishna Katha is Katha told by Krishna, the story, explanation by Krishna. Another Katha is about Krishna. So there's two things. One spoken by Krishna, one is about Krishna. One is Bhagavad Gita and then there is Bhagavatam. So these are the two Krishna Kathas that the Lord Chaitanya is declaring that we all need to propagate the Krishna Katha. This was talking last time, especially for Grihasthas. For Grihasthas, the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to do our sadhana, practice Krishna consciousness, and second instructions that Kurma Brahmana he gives, you do practice at home and preach Krishna consciousness to others. That is most important thing actually. We just do sadhana, that won't be enough, and we have to preach. And His Holiness Chandramal Sang Maharaj is giving the stats of when we listen, how much we remember, when we see, when you see some things, and also when we teach some things. When we teach something, it's called 90%. When we hear, see, experience, all that 10, 20, 30, 40, like that it goes. But when you preach Krishna consciousness is the only way that we can remember. So that is the only hope for me, and I'm just trying to follow His Grace Krishna Prabhu's order here today to just speak on this, so that myself will also remind about listening about Krishna. Thank you so much for your patient listening, and also please forgive me if I spoke anything wrong. It's just impromptu class. There is no preparation, absolutely. Just to have 1 hour before. Thank you so much. Any questions? I don't know if I'll be able to answer, but I can try. If you have any questions.
You mentioned at the beginning that Krishna solely comes down for his enjoyment. So I'm curious because in the spiritual world, everything is much better than the material world. He has this Chintamani Dham, Surabhi house, and all pure devotees, everybody is around all of it. So how come he's wanting to come here and enjoy?
So, yeah, Krishna's enjoyment. The question is like, already Krishna is enjoying in the spiritual world. Why he has to come and get enjoyment from here, right? So, what I heard from Sridhar Kishore Prabhu several times is, even though he is supremely enjoyable person, is enjoying everything. This material world is considered only as 1/4, and the spiritual world is 3/4. But as a loving father, he doesn't want to leave one child also. So that is one thing that I heard, that whoever is suffering in this world, material world, 1/4 of the souls are suffering without him. For him, everyone must be enjoying him. So that is one thing. And second is, if you understand how the devotees are praying, how Advaita Acharya is praying the Supreme Lord, please come, right? So please come and purify all these souls who are struggling in this material world. So the another aspect is what I was remembering is, because of devotees' prayers of looking at these conditioned souls, there is no chance people like me to even think of going back or even to purify themselves. So devotees' prayers is another aspect because of their intense prayers. And Lord Chaitanya says to Advaita Acharya in Mahaprakash Leela, you are the one who called me. I am sitting happily in my spiritual abode, and you are daily offering tulsi and Gangajal, and then you are offering me, and then you are calling me every day. Right? So because of his intense prayers on the Lord Chaitanya, so the same thing, like because of devotees' prayers, is one thing. And another is like he wants to be with everyone. He doesn't want to leave anyone. So only when he comes, only then he will be attracted to himself. My limited.
Our sake.
Yeah, he is coming for our sake. There is no
Be with
intention.
us and enjoy.
Yes. Even he comes in the form of the holy name. Even he comes in the form of the deity. Several times we always say, Krishna is not in the deity. Krishna is the deity. Krishna is the holy name. When he is, being served by so many pujaris, he's being dressed. When I got the Brahman Diksha, and then I was about to start my service of devotee tour. Don't think that Krishna is going to, be dressed by you. You just be a good helper. That's all. he dressed himself. You just need to be a good helper. That's all you have to do. So he does only because he is allowing us to serve so that we can get purified. So that
It's
is
just the material connection
yeah.
for taking.
We cannot see Krishna unless he comes in the material form, either wood, marble, or some stone form, right? So there is no way for us as a conditioned souls to see Krishna's activities and Krishna's transcendental qualities. Right? So we cannot see them. Only because we have a limitation, he comes in that limitation and then allows us to serve him. That is the only purpose. Please forgive me if I spoke.
One more question. If anybody else.
No.
I have questions, but after that, please. I got my turn.
My question is more regarding the description that given for spiritual world, right? We heard two things, right? Material world, Vrindavan is a replication of what is there in spiritual world. Before Krishna comes, everything has to be arranged according to this. Now we also hear that Krishna is served by thousands of goddess of fortune, Lakshmi ji basically, in Vrindavan, in spiritual Golok Vrindavan. But when we see from material perspective, when I say material, I mean to say on earth, the Vrindavan, there is no reference of goddess of Lakshmi ji serving in Vrindavan to Krishna. Right? In fact, she was not allowed. She couldn't take part in based on what in Ras Leela because she did not want to give up her position as Lakshmi. Right? So that's it's a little difficult to read how she's serving as thousands of goddess of thousands of Lakshmi ji are serving Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. Like Vaikuntha understand, right? Because it's a Krishna is in the honor reverence. But Golok Vrindavan, I always think it's though riches has no value. So I'm sure there is explanation. It's just I'm not able to comprehend that.
I'm honestly I did not hear, so I have to admit I'm not qualified to speak on that.
Prabhupada wrote here. Other places also here and there.
He writes. If you're talking about in Bhagavatam, there is no reference of how Krishna is being served by thousands of Lakshmis, right? So, I did not hear any pastime except Mother Lakshmi ji is still trying to serve in Ras Leela, but she is not admitted to. So that we can ask Bishop. I have something that we can ask. Yeah, I did not hear anything.
They're all gopis. The Lakshmis there in. So what is their mentioning is?
Lakshmi actually refers to the gopis.
Okay.
The word Lakshmi actually refers to the gopis.
So goddess of fortune, they say Krishna is being served by thousands of goddess of fortune. That's referred to gopis.
That's gopis. That's not right.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
answer is according to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati purports in Dharma Samhita.
By responding to there is the goddess of fortune. Lakshmi actually Lakshmi Sahasra there refers to
Lakshmi Sahasra is referring to gopis.
Okay.
Thank you, Bro.
Because I was also confused about the same thing.
No.
How is this possible? Down
So I'm not completely off. If you had the question, then I found that.
Yeah. So in Vrindavan, Lakshmi is referring to gopis. Thank you.
Father's mother is necessity is the mother of invention. So when you have a question, you try to find an answer for it. Correct.
I was about to speculate the expansion of Radharani, but you corrected that.
No, actually, I feel like in many like Dhamma Samhita and scriptures, they speak in a hidden way, so that only those who are qualified get. They always speak in cryptic way, like that will be.
Thank you.
Right.
Actually, Dhamma Samhita is amazing book. We all read it together in Brahmachari class. English is little difficult, but it's amazing. You can read it. It's on vedapage.com.
It is the standard of Brahma Samhita is very high, bro. I tried, but it's a different level altogether.
First verse is very difficult, then you understand.
Plus that English, it's not easy. That level of English. It's a directly Thakur's explanation, right? It's like Prabhupada did not touch it, like say, as it is, right?
Bhaktisiddhanta.
Oh, it is
Bhaktisiddhanta. Based on his English, you can understand his level. Okay. So you still have a question?
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Krishna. Yeah.
Really, I don't know, but I think probably just I thought probably just want to hear from you. Thanks for all this nice story for Krishna. And quick question is like we know that everything is even we read, we hear everything is Krishna's plan.
that everything is according to His will and everything goes. But still, there are a lot of moments and things which will keep us in toes on anxiety. What will happen? How it is going to go? All those things. Even after reading, after hearing everything, still that will be there. How do we just negotiate or just overcome from that? Talking to myself. So after hearing so many things that everything is Krishna's plan, how do we understand practically with having so many things in our life, right? The whole temple manifestation. I was heard one quote from is Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj says, the reason for our anxiety is we are the controller. Still we think that we are the controller. As long as you have anxiety in your life, that means we don't agree that Krishna is the controller. That is one thing I heard his quote actually. Because basically, Krishna's plan, we are telling Krishna you are the charioteer, then things will go in a different way. But you want to ride, you want to drive, right? As long as you want to drive, then there will be, overtakes or whatever, slips, or everything you have to face, right? So that is why, we need to seek how we can give that controllership to Krishna in our life. I'm just speaking theoretically here. Many occasions come in our life, several things. Even many people think like getting a job or getting things in life according to our desires or according to our plans is only Krishna's mercy. Yeah. But there are other things which go completely opposite to our life or our plans is also part of Krishna's desire. Mercy, Krishna's mercy. And if we can see that, Brahma's prayers is all like that. If somebody chastises us, if we fold our hands and accept that with grateful heart, that is the stage when that happens. So we have to seek that and we have to train ourselves in the Sangha. In the Sangha especially, this is what we should learn and try to imbibe that. Only happens in the Sangha only. Our personal life also so many things happen, but in the Sangha it happens more. We'll be purified in many ways. But can we take with folded hands anything, any small thing? That is the day we can be free of anxieties in our life. And that is the day that we are telling Krishna that you are the controller in our life. Whatever happens because of you, it is happening. See, we try to see material ways why this is happening this way. Right? According to the free will of each individual, it happens. But that free will also happened, right? That happened. The reaction is where our free will is. For that reaction, what reaction we are trying to convey to Krishna? You may react chastising the other person, or you may react in a different way.
Is this because Prabhu that your ego doesn't allow you to accept that?
Yes, even ego and because of your
that
ego.
You are in control and
yes.
He is not in control. He doesn't let you accept that.
Theory, it's ideal, yes. Krishna is controller. But at the same time, for example, what kind of career I choose, right? I have to have some plan because I have responsibility. Okay, should I do this way to get promotion? Should I change job? Should I get married? Don't get married? Should I move location? See, all these things are, and it's kind of, think what we
I'll tell you one
is best for, based on what I understand. This is right, but we just never know what is right.
That's
Actually,
only, I think.
Can you pray one thing? Only one thing. I'll just tell you only one thing. So many things in the last several years, right? So one thing is, will I be able to perform my bhakti in anything? in any activity that Krishna is. If it is not good for me, it's my prayer. I'm just sorry to tell you, I don't need that in my life. That is to Radha Gopis and Radha. If anything that is dangerous to my bhakti, I always pray that I don't want it. You can take it. Especially several times I prayed, but not every time. But majority of the times, I'll any choosing anything. Everybody, small things also. Going to Dham, going to India. Everybody might have said, no, you should not go. And with so many things, if you go, I don't guarantee he'll come back or not. So that is so many challenges are there. Like, if I'm able to come and serve, you let me go. That's it. It's a material still, we have to, he may choose to put me there for more than whatever period. But he did not, put me for various reasons, but COVID came and I was there for 4 months. So I'm just telling, so I was not able to come back and serve them. For everything.
His comments are his desires. He is wishing for it. But whether they will be approved and sanctioned by him or not is what is going to come from him. So he can desire anything that you wish, but how it is going to manifest?
Not really desire. It's not really desire. It's what we think is right. What is right thing to do. Right? That is what, not for fun. So same way, and this is what I'm thinking is best for me. If it is right for me, let it happen. If not, block it. Please. You decide. See, we have to take some decision, right? So we take decision and say, okay, this is what I think is right for me, but I don't know the future. So you decide. You take control. Right or wrong.
If you let him do, he will give a lot of realizations to you. I can say 100% on that. So many times.
Even whatever we desire and ask for is within the limitation of the knowledge what we have. That is only to the limitation of intellect. Right. The intellect is above that is in his hands.
Yeah, it's in hands, but unless you pray, you can ask Krishna to, if you want to become president of United States, for example, you can have that desire. You can ask him. It may take lifetimes.
That's what I said.
But still, you can pray.
It will happen,
right? If you
that's a desire you're asking for.
Yeah, but if you say you have a desire, but is that desire is not good for my bhakti, then if you don't want it, then you will not make it. Even though you have opportunity 100% to become that, he will not dislike it. So that is what it is. A lot of people, becoming CEOs and all. But after becoming a CEO, if you're not able to chant your rounds and if you're not able to serve, that is what it will happen. So that's the only thing I'm just sharing from my perspective. I'll always add that one line.
Oh, that one line makes.
But not always. Not always. I'm just admitting myself. But not the thought and prayer won't come always. Sometimes accidentally also. That also will happen, and then I should not have done that also.
Honest, sometimes when I'm saying that, I'm scared. Though I'm saying, like, how to say? I'm saying that please let that happen if you think it's right, but in mind, please let that happen because I think it is right. So it's, I don't know how to say that. Like, we say, I mean, I'm talking about myself. Say, but sometimes we don't want him to, please approve it.
Accidentally,
it's tricky.
That is your inner desire. You are asking it for the sake of it from outside. But inner desire is you don't have it also.
That's introspection, right?
Introspective.
Yeah, that's the point. Like the stronger the desire to serve and keep our priority is on bhakti. Like Srimad Bhagavatam, that's why Srimad Bhagavatam gives the priorities of life. It tells the priorities. Entire what is our topmost priority? Visualness from person always gives this picture of the jar, and you have big stones, you have small stones, and you have sand. But he is always that goes in my mind, like very clearly, like this is the priority for you. Okay, this is your big stone, is your bhakti. If it goes there, yes. Instead of that, sometimes I try to put some other things in between. Hands are empty, so put some sand sometimes. That's how then you cannot put any stones there. Yeah, this
And
still the
like Prabhuji mentioned, we are also hypocritical sometimes. We don't want what we ask from externally, but with the intention is we don't want it to really happen also.
I
Correct.
would like to end here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very good.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Very wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Please forgive me.